What makes you think you can kill Superman when you can't even handle a mere mortal in a Halloween costume?
There's nothing mere about that mortal. Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
The Avengers, the Justice League. You've probably looked at them and thought to yourself, damn, these are probably some of the coolest superheroes ever. I want to be just like them. But I know for a fact that there are some of you out there that overlook the powerless heroes and think, bro, these guys can't do anything. They got no powers. What are they gonna do? Well, think again. Because those powerless heroes are often the realest ones. The ones willing to step up and do what needs to be done, even when they don't have powers to fall back on. But don't get me wrong, we still love Superman, Spider-Man, Flash, Hulk, and all our other superpowered heroes. But the heroes who really hit different are the ones who don't need a Kamehameha or super strength to get the job done, and somehow tend to have some of the most aura despite not having any powers. There's a reason why people love Batman and the Bat family. Batman is the perfect example of a hero who doesn't need powers. And yeah, I'll include Iron Man on this too. Their only quote-unquote powers are money and just super smart. But with great money comes great corruption. And we see that with plenty of villains like Kingpin and the Penguin. But Batman and Iron Man, they were different. They used their power responsibly. Who do you think pays for the Watchtower and keeps the Bat family equipped? That'd be Batman. Who funds the Avengers Mansion, the Quinjet, and all of Hawkeye's arrows? That'd be Iron Man. These two know that they're that guy, but they aren't perfect. Batman's got trauma and PTSD from losing his parents, and now he dresses like a bat that beats people up at night. And Iron Man's got PTSD too, with the side of alcoholism, and a record of backstabbing his friends too. Both of them have all that pain, all that power, and freedom to turn into villains if they wanted to. But what keeps them from doing that? I mean, you might say it's their morals, yeah, but I mean, that's part of it. But honestly, if you ask me, it's because they're just crazy. But just in the right way. They'll do whatever it takes for the greater good, even if it's questionable at times. Batman's no-kill rule is what he's all about. Catches criminals, hands them over to the GCPD, you know, that's pretty normal hero stuff. But the crazy thing is how committed he is to this no-kill rule. Because realistically, Gotham citizens probably wouldn't mind if he took guys out like the Joker permanently. Like, they'd probably thank him, honestly. Criminals like Joker and Riddler are like killing people left and right. And if it's not even them, it's probably the goons killing people out there. But Batman refuses to kill them, not wanting to kill like the man who killed his parents. That is the craziness of Batman. He saves everyone, even the ones who don't even deserve it. The Bat family is built around the same code. Most of them used to be Robins. They looked up to him because of how goated he was. One of them even became Batman for a while, whenever Bruce had his back broken. Now, when we get to Jason did look up to Batman, until Joker killed him. Then after being resurrected, Jason pretty much ditched the no-kill rule completely. He expected Batman to avenge him, but Batman's craziness for no killing wouldn't let him break his code, and Jason wasn't really having that. I also want to talk about how Batman doesn't need to use violence to solve crime. Sometimes he can just talk things out. Sometimes he's a lover. Sometimes he's a fighter. There's a reason why Superman and Batman get along. Iron Man's code was about making the world a safer place, even if it meant doing some pretty sketchy things in the process. Before becoming Iron Man, Tony was a pretty arrogant and inconsiderate guy who just flexed his money. After he got captured by terrorists and held captive, he saw the horrors of war and what kind of damage his weapons would do. And after that experience, he pretty much decided to stop Stark Industries from making weapons, making sure that none of his creations would be able to harm others. And this would then lead him to become Iron Man and an Avenger. Then after some time, a little thing called Civil War happens, and things get pretty messy, especially in the comics. Like, the things Iron Man has done in the comics, I really can't defend everything that he did. Like sending Hulk into space, building a robot Thor who would kill Goliath, or recruiting villains to hunt down heroes, which almost got Spider-Man killed. Iron Man was going pretty wild in the comics. But just for this video, and this video only, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Unlike Captain America, Tony had a more realistic view on the superhero registration. His heart was definitely in the right place. He wanted accountability, he wanted civilians to feel safe, wanted heroes to regain trust, wanted to prove that they weren't the bad guys. Iron Man was definitely on the right track here to making the world a safer place for sure. But in the process, it did mean sacrificing relationships and meant losing Captain America. Everyone on Captain America's side refuses to give up their identities and to be monitored by the government. Which, if they did, it would mean that they would have no chance of having a personal life, not even feeling safe spending time with family, or spending time in their own home. All probably due to the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D. is probably constantly watching you, or a supervillain that knows your identity and is probably waiting to kill you. You would basically give up your chances of ever having a normal life. But for Iron Man, he was willing to give it all up to prioritize the trust of the people first, to make them feel safe knowing who the heroes really are. That they're people, just like them, but doing the right thing with their powers. I will say Tony did kind of confess and apologize that he never wanted any of the tragedies that followed in Civil War. He was also technically the one who buried Captain America after his funeral session, which in my book it basically shows how much he really cared for Captain America, who was his best friend. He even wrote a nice speech when burying Captain America. After the aftermath of Civil War, he did become director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and launched the 50-state initiative. And this gave every state its own superhero team and started a boot camp for younger heroes. This was basically Marvel's version of My Hero Academia. And all this was definitely a step closer to fulfilling his vision of making the world a safer place. But with many sacrifices along the way. In the end, I guess he got what he wanted, so he got the job done. Now, there are a lot of powerless heroes similar to Batman and Iron Man, but one I do want to quickly mention is Mecha Man from Dispatch. He's basically just Iron Man with all the armor and tech, but no money, and also depending on your choices, he can also lean towards Batman's character, especially when you decide whether to kill or spare Shroud in the end. But honestly, Mecha Man gives me more of a Rick Flag kind of vibe overall, but a more considerate Rick Flag. I also want to quickly mention a trend with these powerless heroes, that they be pulling baddies left and right. Alright, I think that's all I have to say. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I just wanted an excuse to really talk about Iron Man and Batman. I just wanted to show some love to some of my goated powerless heroes. But at the same time, I just wanted to convey the message of that you don't gotta have everything or be gifted to just be someone special. You being you is already special enough. What matters is what you stand for, what you're willing to do, what choices you're willing to make. And that is what Batman and Iron Man always think about. They're just like us, a normal person.